Every day, more of Jim Witcher's nerve cells shut down. His spinal cord degenerates. His muscles waste away.
Are you any closer to a decision since I was here a month ago?
Of course, you know, you can talk big, but doing it's a different thing. But my intentions are at the point to where I begin to really have trouble swallowing. And before I lose the ability to sit in a wheelchair like this, I intend to go ahead and take some drugs.
Do you have those drugs?
Yes, I have the drugs. I'm a veterinarian and have a narcotics license. You can always make a mistake, I guess, but I think I have exactly what I need.
But if you wait, is there a danger that you might miss the moment, that you won't be able to swallow it?
Sure. I know I can do it now. I want to live a little while longer, so I'm gonna push the envelope as far as I can.
If you missed the moment and you were unable to do it, would you want Susie to help you?
No, because she couldn't do it. And she would feel guilty forever after. She would feel like a murderer.
Could I put the poison to his lips? Not now.
Hey, come here, Garrett.
On a
Get on this deal. Hey, boy.
Oh, boy.
The Witcher's daughter, Marcy, has come from Maryland with her husband, Joe, and their 3 kids.
The last time that they were here, he cried and said he didn't think he'd probably ever see them or his grandchildren again.
Hi, Marcy.
How you doing?
Love you. I'm doing fine. Good to see you.
Now, Marcy, I do have those juice things out there, too, so whichever.
It's not just him suffering, it's the whole family, because we're watching him. And I know what he wants to do, but I don't want him to do it. But I want him to be at peace. It's a struggle trying to figure out, okay, do I side with you, or do I side with my heart, or do I side with what society says should be, or what the legal system says you can do? I'm still struggling with what I feel.
Our Father, we thank Thee for these and all Thy blessings. Forgive us our many sins. We beg for Christ's sake. And dear God, thank You for letting us get back down here to visit with our family one more time.
I think all of us have an idea of what we think we do in a situation, and when it comes to that time, we may change our mind. But he'd said, when I get to where I can't do anything for myself anymore, well, the first thing he said was, when I can't wipe my bottom myself, I don't want to live. The next step was, when I can't feed myself, I don't want to live. Well, I'm having to feed him now, and he still wants to live. He still wants to see his grandkids. So far as having said by such and such time I'm going to, he has not set another deadline to me now.
I realize that, but now that I can't raise my hand, I'll get a bug or a itch on my nose, and it's just mind over matter.
Wow.
I'd never make it.
When
He is worried that he's going to have to be able to administer whatever he chooses to do to himself, and he's going to have to do it before he is totally incapable of doing it.
He would have to swallow it himself?
Yes, sir.
But with his hands,
I know.
how can he get it to
I don't know. I don't know, and I don't know that I want to ask, you know.
You haven't asked him?
Yeah, I have, and he hasn't really said. So I don't know whether he's got something in the back of his mind that he thinks he can do, or what, and it's not something I really want to talk about, you know. And I know I need to, and probably need to for his sake. But I'm guilty of keeping just as busy as I can around here, so I don't have to face it, you know. I don't know how to explain that to you, but
You're doing a good job. You mean you just don't want to think about that moment?
right. You know, he's asked me if I want to be there when he dies. I don't know.
there, Davis.
Yes, that's Sassy. You're right.
He wants his life to end
Peacefully.
on his own terms.
On his terms instead of on the disease's terms. And I understand that, but who says you get to decide?
Do you remember Spirit?
Spirit remembers me too.
That Spirit, I think if Spirit does remember you, doesn't
The spiritual side of me says that's God's decision. That's between you and God, Dad, and when God deems it necessary, then that's when it's going to happen.
Remember Sassy? Hey, Spirit.
I always understood that suicide was wrong. It was a sin, and it was not a moral thing to do. With dealing with this situation, it blurs the lines.
What I'm talking about is my choice. This is what I want for me. And the only other thing I want is for society and people to talk about it, plan their own, decide for themselves.
To assure that he's not kept alive with artificial means, Jim has signed a living will. Susie knows what can happen without it.
My mother died of ovarian cancer. I remember when she got to the point where she could not eat anymore and she refused to eat, I begged the doctor to put a Broviac tube in her because I was still fighting to save her. That meant she had to be taken into surgery and have that inserted, and it probably might have bought her 4 weeks, 5, who knows. And looking back now, I'm so sorry I put her through that. It did not make her quality of life one bit better. I should never have done that. And I'm not going to do it to James because he's legally taken steps that he won't take it. I saw my mother suffer horribly, and it came to a point that I wished I could do something. I don't think I'd ever had the guts to help her die, but I feel really terrible that I sustained, that I made her miserable for that many more weeks. And that's just no way to go for anybody.